gentlemen, welcome to this morning's Assumption of Command ceremony. Throughout the ceremony, you will be given cues to stand and be seated at the appropriate times. As a reminder, during our national anthem, our civilian guests should place their right hand over their heart. At this time, we ask you to turn off all of your electronic devices. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and the playing of our national anthem. Please be seated. Good morning. I am Senior Airman Nung Tran, and I will be your narrator. Welcome to Assumption of Command for the 913th Force Support Squadron. Today's ceremony welcomes our new commander, Major Chrissy M. Brunscheitel. At this time, we would like to welcome the presiding officer for today's ceremony, the commander of the 913th Airlift Group, Colonel Christopher Locouture.
Get the advantage of being the only one to take their mask off other than Major Brunscheitel. Normally, I don't like to work from notes because it's painfully obvious when the speaker's looking at the notes all the time. But this is an important event, and there are some topics that I wanted to hit, and I want to make sure I got them all and didn't leave any out. I want to start by thanking the men and women of the Force Support Squadron. It's not been an easy year. I wasn't here for all of it, but I've been told the history and I know how things have played out, and I know what it's like to be in a squadron that doesn't have a commander. I'm going to talk about that a little bit here in a moment. I also want to thank Chief Henjum for stepping up and leading the Force Support Squadron while Senior Master Sergeant Widger was away and while there were vacancies at the FSO and the command position. I asked him to do a lot, and hopefully we're now moving into a phase where he will take off a hat or two and maybe be down just to 5 or 6. Assumption of command ceremonies are not the ideal way to install a commander. Ideally, that happens at a change of command. At the beginning of a change of command ceremony, the narrator talks about the importance of the individuals of the unit seeing that command being transferred from one person to another. The Force Support Squadron isn't going to get that advantage. They're going to get to see a commander come in, but that's after a long vacancy of having gone without a commander. This assumption of command ceremony is the first step to fixing that problem. A unit with no commander doesn't automatically fail. The members, and the Force Support Squadron has not failed. The members of that squadron, they know their jobs, they know what they have to do, and they continue to do what is required of them. But over time, performance of the unit as a whole is going to erode without that person at the top of the organization. That person provides leadership, to provide direction, to solve problems, give advice where it's necessary, and it's been a while since there was a commander at the Force Support Squadron. And FSS is not the only organization in the group that had that problem. The entire group had a vacancy at the command position. There have been vacancies in APS. So we're working very hard to solve those problems, and I'm glad that we're solving that problem at Force Support Squadron today. I know what it's like to be in a squadron or an organization that doesn't have a commander. Or ideally, there would be someone who is temping, but without someone actually assigned on G-Series orders who you know and can point to as who that commander is, it's hard to find that guidance, and it's hard to self-motivate without someone to help sort that out. I understand if it feels like the group has neglected the Force Support Squad. That wasn't the intent. It's just a factor of some of the problems that I've talked about leading up to this. I'm going to take the opportunity to mention to the entire FSS and members from outside the FSS things that I told the full-time staff about 10 days ago. And that has to do with the fact that the FSS is crucial to the entire group. And it's very easy in the Air Force for folks to dismiss or not really elevate the importance of what administrative work is to an organization. Dismiss it as paperwork, something that's not important. It's not turning wrenches, it's not flying, so maybe it's not as important, and it doesn't get the attention that it should. But I'm here to tell you it's crucially important. And what the Force Support and the members of the Force Support Squadron do is crucially important. Some examples. No one deploys without orders. No one gets onboarded without the Force Support doing its work. Airmen don't get paid, promoted, or retired. Jobs don't get advertised. Bonuses don't get paid. Pay problems don't get corrected. And if you think pay isn't important, you're either independently wealthy or you just won the Powerball. And I know for a fact we don't have any of those cases in the entire group. When an airman applies to a school or goes up against a promotion board, that person doesn't put on their uniform and go to that board. Their record goes to that board. Their paperwork, their admin, all that stuff in that record is dependent upon the Force Support Squadron. The Force Support Squadron touches every person in every squadron of the entire group. And it may not always be recognized, but I'm here to tell you that I know it, and other commanders know it. And it may not always be obvious that we appreciate it, but we do. But going forward, I need a smart, capable, and effective commander who can take what the members of the Force Support Squadron have done and make it better, solve problems, fill positions, make that admin life of the group better. And Major Brunscheidt is that commander. I've mentioned I know what it's like to be in a unit that doesn't have a commander, and I know what it's like to be in a unit when that position finally gets filled. For me, that was a time of great optimism, because it's not just going to be the status quo. Now people are getting in the positions that are necessary in order to make things better. I ask you to buy into that optimism and feel it. A new commander, Major Brunscheidt, combined with key crucial hires in the Force Support Squadron, are everything that the squadron needs in order to make things better. So now is a perfect time to reject, that's the way we've always done it, to reject the statement, that's not my job, and take the increased capability of better hiring, having a commander, and make the unit better. By making the Force Support Squadron better, you help me make the entire group better. I look forward to seeing what you and Major Brunscheidt will do. I really do. Because part of my job that I really enjoy the most is seeing the unit get better over time, seeing the situation for individual airmen get better. And we're at the cusp of that and finally having the capability and the people in place to do that. I think you're going to move from success to success. And like I said, I look forward to seeing how Major Brunscheidt does that. And I want to say thank you to everyone in the Force Support Squadron. It's not a throwaway line that I know it's been a difficult year, because it has been. but newer and better things are on the horizon. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Locator. Before we start our ceremony, we would like to extend a welcome to all the commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, Air Force reservists, and Team Glow Rock. Lastly, we also like to extend an especially warm welcome to Major Brunscheidel's husband, Captain Bobby Poisson. This ceremony is one deeply rooted in military tradition, predating the Norman conquest of England. It is a visible means of handing the reins of command to the new commander. As the guidon is passed, it is held in such a way that it remains firmly grasped at all times, thus symbolizing that the squadron always has a commander. The ceremony itself is simple and direct. The new commander takes her place before the presiding officer. The incoming commander salutes the presiding officer and states, "Sir, I assume command." The guidon is then passed from the guidon bearer to the presiding officer, to the incoming commander, and back to the guidon bearer. Only 4 words are spoken, but those 4 words represent a new beginning. To our commanders, present and future, we offer our heartfelt best wishes. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Assumption of Command for the 913th Force Support Squadron.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force Special Order Number GS21-003, under the provisions of Air Force Instructions 51-509, by direction of the President, Major Christine M. Brunscheidel is appointed Commander of the 913th Force Support Squadron, effective 8th November 2020.
Officers, set.
Sorry, I assumed command.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present the commander of the 913th Force Support Squadron, Major Chrissy Brunscheidel.
Thank you, Senior Airman Tran. I'm honored to be here today, surrounded by impactful leaders, inspiring coworkers, and my family. I'd like to take a minute to thank Colonel Locator for this opportunity, Major Walker and Chief Henjum for taking time out of their already busy schedules to put this event together, and my husband Bobby for his endless love and support. Thank you all so much. I want you to know that being a squadron commander has been my primary Air Force goal my entire career. Since I joined in 2009, I've seen every type of leader and tried to file away all the lessons learned, both positive and negative. I will use those lessons with my leadership experience and enthusiasm to be the best I can for you. I'm committed to supporting this already tight-knit and effective organization through continued improvement and connection. As a career force support officer, I want you to know that our job is important, and you, the people of the force, are the most important part of the reserve. I'm excited to get started, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Major Brunscheidel. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. As a reminder, the words of the Air Force song have been revised recently. We encourage all to sing along.